Hey everyone, it's Cassie here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to go over a little bit about the Canvo bullet journal. I had showed this to y'all a little while back, probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, and I had asked if there was any interest in me showing you how I do my bullet journaling. And mine is very simplistic. Mine is not like super frou-frou. It isn't decorated super pretty, but it is practical and it works for me. I would love the idea of doing super frou-frou, but it seems like I always run out of time to actually be able to do that. But I did want to show you what works well for me and how, you know, a little bit about bullet journaling. I am clearly not like an expert bullet journaler, but I do have the basic concept and it's actually quite helpful. So if I can share that with you and it's helpful to you, then awesome. And this is the Canvo bullet journal from Catherine Pooler. It is nice and thick. It has, let's save that because I use that all the time. It has like 150 pages in it, and these are all like little dots all over there to make it a little bit easier to line your stuff up. But I love it. It's nice, thick paper. So it's good for stamping on. It's good for, you could color on it. I haven't really done a lot of that, but I like it. And so the point of a bullet journal is basically just to make organization a little bit easier. So every bullet journal, if you're doing it, I guess, the right way, has an index. And so my very first page is my index. I went ahead and saved a couple of pages for that because I wasn't sure how much I would actually write in there. But and this is where you'd write your page numbers, and you add to it as you go. So you aren't going to know exactly where, you know, X month is until you get to X month. So I've started with March, you know, and I'll tell you it's on page 4 and 5. We have March list, which I believe my March list is just my list of things that have to get done. So I do my calendar a couple different ways, and I played around with the calendar. The first one I did was like this, a 2-page spread, and that worked great. I may go back to that. But that's what I did for March. And let's see what else we did. And the bullet journal is great because, like, here you can see I have a craft room layout. That was as we were moving into here. Circumstances came up, so I couldn't really pay a lot of attention to it. I had started it, but like I said, I couldn't pay a ton of attention to it simply because, you know, we had a health crisis, as you all know. But most of my bullet journal is going to be this first couple pages or page, which is the calendar at a glance, because I do like to have a calendar at a glance. And then I also like to have this where I have each day lined up and whatever my assignment is for that, so that I can exit off, if that makes any sense. And then I get into my assignments, and I usually do 2 per page depending. Like this one was a big assignment, so it was a longer one. But you know, this is where I'll sketch out all of my card ideas as well, and then write down what I added or what I used with it. So that was for, and I even have a March wish list. I think I wrote that. Yeah, my March wish list, so I can always go back to it. So that's page 16, and I'm just writing down the Copic refills that I eventually need, so I can keep going and adding to this. Anytime I think of a Copic refill that I need, I'll go to the front of this and go, oh, March wish list. I should probably add Copic to the, like in parentheses, but then I can start writing that out. And then we move into April, and I tried to do a calendar like this. Now I screwed it up, so I did tape in a paper, and it works fine. And then I went on to do the couple pages like this. Now I'm not sure I love this, but I did do it again for May. I may change that up because I do like the idea of having, like I did for March, being able to see it all, like one whole spread for the calendar and then one whole spread for my days, so that it's all right in front of my face. So April had to do it on one page and the next, and then that I started in on my assignments. So, and then I also started adding a cards written. So the April cards written. I have a little list of, what page is that on? Page 27, and all of these pages are numbered. I don't know if I mentioned that. So then I have, here's all the cards that I wrote out for April. I have a whole list, and I marked them off as I wrote them. And then I just keep an ongoing list. If one of them doesn't happen, I'll move it to the next month. But this way I can see who I've written to. And maybe if I'm like, oh, I haven't written to so-and-so in a month or two, then I can put them on the next list. So then we get into our May calendar, which I did the same, but again, I think I'm going to go back to, the other way. Like, I like the full spread. This is nice and it's great. The words that I have to stagger them because they don't fit right above. And these are all stencils. I will show you these stencils. These stencils and a lot of these stamps come from Catherine Pooler, which is great. And then I can mark off as I use things. And then what do we have here? I even wrote my budget out. I'm not going to show you that because you don't want to see that. But I wrote out our family budget in here as well. And then the May cards that I've written out. My May assignments. That was I always call this my assignment page right here. And I add to that as I go. But that is the basic concept of what I do. Now, let me show you some of the products that they have and some of the products that I use in particular. And mine is going to evolve over time. I have noticed the type of planner that I am just evolves. I am not a set in stone type of person. There might be one whole year that I need, and I can see it happening next year once some things start changing. I may need, to have out my weekly schedule as well. Right now, it isn't necessary, and it's something I think would just waste my paper for now, but this works. Heck, you could even have these are my assignments, and then I could do another whole page of this where, page or spread where it could be like June happenings, where you're actually writing like somebody's birthday or taking a trip and then mark it down, or a doctor's appointment or something like that. But so let me show you what I use. I have pulled out the Arteza, they're TwiMarkers, I believe. And I did a video on these before, just kind of reviewing them. And I think they're awesome. I think they're great. They're good for, because there's two different types of tips. There is almost like a bullet tip for writing, and then there is a brush tip, which is water soluble. It is reactive to water. So I do like that. I think these are great. So you got your 0.4 fine tip and your brush tip. And I like to use these, I pick a color for the month, and I've picked out orange for June. So when I do June's calendar, you'll get to see that. But these are great because there are 48 of them in there. I'll have it linked down below, but I really like that. If you're wanting to practice on any of your pages, which one of them I should have, and then I ended up doing it on here and then taping it in. This is just like a practice pad. It's basically, it'll show you what your page will look like if you're one of those that is afraid you'll mess up. And I don't like messing up in here. I really don't want to do that, which, like I said, I did. But that's why it's not a bad idea to plan, and this was inexpensive, and this is from Catherine Pooler. Again, everything I'm showing you I'll have linked down below if it's still available. There are many different stencils. A lot of these that I got them on super sale, so they may not even be around anymore. But I can tell you which ones I use the most. These first three are the ones I use the most. I use this one for the calendar. I think I'm going to go back and do that as a big spread for June. I used this one for the one whole month page. I thought that was great. And then this is the one that I use for my assignments, but it's also great for weekly. So, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday underneath it, or you can make it worth more than, a couple days, do it on 2 pages. But this, this is designed for a week or however you want to do it. As you can see, I did mine, like here's the assignments or whatnot, have it set up this way. And this is the date that I posted on. This is the assignment name, and so on and so forth. So I love this one. I think it's really classy, really pretty, if you can see that. Again, I'll have these linked down below. This one, what are the names of them? This one's the Weekly 11 stencil with the hearts and stuff. This one is the Month in Circles stencil. This one is the Half Calendar stencil. So I'm going to use that one today, and then we'll use this one today. I won't use these circles today. And then we have more weeklies, which I haven't really pulled into yet. I may need them more next year and coming up. And this one is the Weekly 7 stencil. So it's just a different way to do it. Even you can have your whole little calendar up in here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, however you want to design them. Here's another Weekly 7. Oh, it's Weekly 3. 1, 2, 3. So it could go across 2 pages where you'd have you know, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, and then the next one could be just whatever. Here's another one. This is the Weekly 5 stencil, is what it's called. I wonder if it's in number order. Let me see. Weekly 6. Yeah, it could be just number order. And then this one has little boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you could have a whole week on one page, a whole week on another page. So that's a good one. Plus you could also have all your dates up there, you know, so you have a calendar at a glance. Then here's another one where you could have a to-do list up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then add another one over here, and then you've got your whole calendar here as well. And again, I'll have them all linked down below. And then this one I thought was interesting because this is a year-round stencil. Let's say, I don't know, you wanted to do some sort of a budget. The stamp that I have that goes with this is a monthly. Let's see if I can pull it out. So here's this one. This fits in, so you stamp it and then you can design around it. Let's say you just want to make sure you're getting everybody's birthday in, or you're trying to track something. This could be a really good habit tracker to make sure that you've accomplished whatever you're trying to accomplish. But I liked that one. I haven't used it yet. We'll see. I may in the future. This one's called the Year-Round Essentials stamp set. I loved the font for the days of the week, and I thought these for the months were really good too. And then you could have birthdays and list out all your birthdays. You got the washing machine, a little speech bubble, a balloon, a coffee cup, a camera, a television, a clock, some weights. I thought that was really fun. Another one I really liked that I have used a few times is this one called the Put a Pin in It stamp. So I think this is great. I used this one for my little wish list. I used this one once for some calendar making. You've got, you know, you can make your own squares if you wanted to, or rectangles using these, and maybe using these as your edges. And then you've just got little elements that go with it. And I think that one is a lot of fun too, and I've used a few in there. And then here's another great one. This is months, many ways. And I like this because you can have the month all in a glance to know, like, oh, Tuesday is the 6th. If you just, even if you stamped this on every page, you would know. So rather than having to flip around. And then I do like how the calendar is set up this way. And then you also have your Sunday, Mondays. So I think that's great as well. All right, so let's get into making June's month, and then you'll have an idea of what I do. Obviously, what I do may not work for you, and that's cool, that's okay. But let's jump into it. I'm going to fast forward here in a minute. All right, so as you're going to see right out of the gate, I changed my mind. Instead of using the half calendar, I'm going to go ahead and use the month in circles. And the reason for that is because we're starting on a page like this rather than a 2-page spread. If I were going to be doing a 2-page spread, I would have absolutely used the half calendar. So I'm going to pull out this orange TwiMarker. I think that's, again, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but I'm just going to use this stencil and get all the circles put in. And then once all of those are put in, I can start doing a little bit of stamping. So we'll start with our days, and I've pulled out some Catching Rays Catherine Pooler ink. Obviously it's going to work beautifully with the Canvo bullet journal. However, I imagine, and I haven't tried it, I imagine a lot of your dye inks will probably work just fine in here because of the structure of this paper. It's a little bit thicker. So this is what I have, so this is what I'm using. But yeah, I imagine you can use all kinds of other colors. And then I'll stamp in the date or the month, and then the next step would be to just write in the calendar days. So for the 1st of June, it starts on a Tuesday. And then we'll just fill in all the numbers, and now I have my calendar sort of at a glance, and I can fill that in as needed. Our next couple of pages are going to be those June assignments, so I'll start off by stamping June, and then I'm going to stamp in all the icons that I will need for all 30 days of June, and that's going to take up basically 2.5 pages. It would if I were going to flip the page over, but I decided to just do it on the other half of this page, simply because that camera is a little bit bigger, and so my assignments aren't going to need to take up that much space. And so I will write out the dates next to them, and then that's going to take care of that. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is basically just write in the words cards for June. So I've got that all started, and I'm imagining the next page will basically just be starting in with my assignments. So now I have to go back to my index and then write in the page numbers and write in what each thing was. So this is why I love bullet journaling. You can always go back and you can be as descriptive as you need to, but you can always go back and try and figure out where something was, which is awesome. That's why bullet journaling is so practical. And then, yeah, I can fill in as needed. There is no set page number for future things yet. We go and we write it in as we go. So there it is. It's like I said, mine's not real detailed as of yet. That may change as months go on, but that is what makes bullet journaling so awesome, is you can change it as you need it. And so there it is. But yeah, if you're interested in anything that I used, all those products will be linked down below. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And as always, I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye, everybody.